Good afternoon, everybody. How's things? I do apologise if it's wobbling a little bit. I've got my phone here on charge, and I'm trying to get all the cords out of the way so they don't cause me a problem or you whilst we're watching this video. But there we go, all sorted, I think. Okay, it's not my shaky hands, honestly. 378, or at least I think that's where we are. 378. You know, it's amazing, isn't it, when you think back? 12 tiles, March the 23rd, 2020, and we're now on the 300s, almost the 400s. We're getting there, aren't we? Certainly we'll be there before, before Christmas, well before. So what have we got today? Bright white tile, and I've put a little bit of inking on the front there. I've put a bit of salt in as well. It's dried nicely. It's got this lovely little sort of mottled effect there, so job done. And I'm going to keep, with my pen pencil tortillon, although I do have pencils lying around and all sorts of things, so job done. If we're ready, are we ready? Gosh, Tuesday already. No, Thursday. I should know because I'm here at home at the moment prepping for tomorrow, of course. And it's 3 shows, so it's quite busy. And, is it 338? Oh, do you know what? I'll sort that in a bit. I just get my numbers mixed up. I really do. So, okay. Thank you. Here we go then. What am I going to do? Let's put a border in first. And not too wide. So, let's go in about there. And I'm going to go straight in with pen. We still will be at 400 before Christmas. I'm sure of it. Yes. Okay. And the next one. And just sort of, there you go. See, I'm just sort of lining it up. I'm doing it by eye, just so I can see where I'm going there. Okay. All right, so we've got a bit of a border. Okay, here we go. So next bit, I want to come in with pen, and I'm going to do it straight away, but just go with it. And let's not do these too large. And I'm going to leave it in the tile in full view so you can get an idea of size, and then I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm going to do with it. Okay, so I'm going to start this corner, I think. Here we go. And I'm going to put like a little line in so it's not too big. If you imagine, if I give you an actual, not that I normally do, measurement, here we are. It's about 5 mil, half a centimetre or so, so it's not very big. And then next to it, I'm going to draw like a V shape. If you want to watch this first, and then you'll sort of see where I'm going with this. And then another. And I'm not counting, so I might get a few more than you, or you might get a few more than me. You see there, we're going to fit that one in. Okay, so I've got a line that doesn't matter. It's not perfect, but that's giving you an idea, isn't it? Okay. So starting with this one, let's go a little bit bigger. Okay, so you've got 3 lines there, don't matter. Let's we'll put like a little line over the top of them, just to get them started. We're going to ignore that one, let's put that in. And then a little sort of cloud shape on the top there. And then miss one, going to do another. Miss one, and do another. Okay. And then same here, look. All right. You see, by missing one and doing them sort of in between each other like so, you're sort of getting a bit more of a interconnecting kind of shape. I'm going to fill in those bits in the middle there. There you go. Now you can do that with a different colour, or you can leave it if you want. And see, being that I've got that odd line there, I might come in and put other lines in. I might leave it, it's fine. So you see how big? It's not too big, see? So let's try another one, and this time I'll see if I can do it without putting that extra line in. So maybe I want to do the V first. And again, not really counting. Just putting those in. So here, look, there you go. There's my V. So I've got that. That's better. And then little curves. There we go. That's it, into the swing of it now. And then along into little fluffy bubbles. Miss one. And then do another. You see, each one sort of working its way around. And then do the ones in between. And another one in there. And in there. So just as before, I'm going to fill those gaps in. Okay. Alright, see, not too big at all. Sometimes it's nice to do them large, but others we're just going to sort of creep them in nice and gentle like. So here we go again with another. This tile's mainly made up actually of 2 tangles. We can sort of work together with them. And because they're not too big, we're going to do a few of these. You see, that's got a little bit of a gap bigger than that. Again, doesn't matter, they're all going to be a little bit different. But that's the beauty of it, isn't it? They're all going to be... Now, I don't know whether they're flowers or what they are, but it doesn't really matter. Just going to enjoy drawing them. And along we go. Okay, now you see there, there's a little bit of a gap, and I'm being pretty sort of consistent filling all of these in because it's a little shape in there, isn't it, that's ready-made, so to speak. So here, what do we do? So I'm going to imagine there is a bit of a gap or a bit of a line there, and I'm going to still fill that gap in. Okay, so let's do another. And little V's, quite close. But again, don't particularly worry if one's bigger than the other. They are very cauliflower-like, aren't they, Rose? Oh, let's do that line first. Getting ahead of myself there. And then my fluffy clouds. I've not had cauliflower in ages. I do eat a lot of the dark green veg. But cauliflower's not one that's particularly on my radar. I know people quite like cauliflower cheese. It's something I've never really got into, but some people like it. Okay, all right. So let's do a few more of these. I'm going to put one sort of here, quite close to this one, so it looks like it might sort of go underneath a little bit. There we go. And then back in with those little curves. There we are, one on each. And then around we go. Okay, and this one. And along. And there we go. You see how that sort of looks a little bit like it's going over and under, rather than like this one's more even. That's sort of like an underlap. But, but it's nice to sort of see if, you know, if you want to try it both ways, just to see what it's like. Mix it up a bit. Oh, Wendy's sounds nice. Although, to be honest, I've never actually tried it. I've never eaten cauliflower cheese. It's never come up. It's never been one of those things that's come up and it's like, what shall we have for tea tonight? It's like, no, it's never happened. I have actually used it in place of rice. So, you know, sort of all crumbled up and things like that. I've used it with that, with some fish. But I don't know. Maybe, I can't really do cooked cheese, so maybe it's off the menu anyway. Oh, it always gets back to food, doesn't it? Never mind, here we go. So add in a few more of these little bubbles around and in there. And then into the little bits again. I'm going to just fill those middles in. Chris, I'm probably with you there, honestly. Yeah, I'm probably with you there. Let's do another one. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Kathy. We're on the cauliflower train now. All right, so these are sort of starting to become a bit second nature now, I think. We've got this idea that we're putting these little fluffy shapes on. I think we've established well and truly that they're very cauliflower-like. So in we go with them. They could be a bit blossomy as well, I suppose. Depends how you want to look at it. But they're coming on quite nicely. I'm going to bring another one down here, and I'm going to sort of review it and see what I think. Might join a few together as well. Let's stick one there. There we go. Oh, Kathy, nice. I'm at home today, so I'm afraid I don't have a cup of tea, and I'm not likely to get one because there's nobody, nobody else here. Now, if I'd have thought on, I could have done one before I started. But I'm well and truly involved in prep for tomorrow because, of course, with 3 shows, it's quite a lot of demonstration time. So I want to make sure I'm getting it all in there. And yeah, it's going to be quite a show tomorrow, quite a day, hopefully. So something quite exciting happening. Just let you know in a little bit. Let's get these done first. Oh, Kathy, of course I'm dressed. Of course. Top and bottom, everything. I've got my slippers on. No shoes. But yes, I am dressed because, of course, you know, you've got to let the dogs out. Or if the post person knocks on the door, you've got to be there. There we are. So I'm going to join a few together, but what I want to do is I'm going to put a little curve in here. Now again, just might want to watch to see what's going on there. Let's go a bit bigger. All right. So I'm going to join, I'm going to go underneath that one. Join that one to that one. Give it a little bit of interest there. And then here, look, if I can do it again. A couple of little curves. And then join it to that one. Let's have a look at that. So this one's sort of going to join to there anyway, and we're going to have a little bit of a line in there. So they're not much, we can't really put more of those in, but we've got a connection between them all, which is quite nice. Again, we could add more of these in a little while, but I just want to go in and do a little bit more of something first. Oh, oh no, shall I put one in here? Let's put one in here. And of course your tile is going to be completely different to mine. So you're going to find that you've got spaces where I haven't and vice versa. So you can see it's almost like a random piece. And then we're going to bring this next tangle in. Well, there's nothing stopping you if you want to sort of go back and forth between the two and keep adding more of one if you want to. That's fine. Okay. So far so good. So that one I'm going to bring it sort of off and join in there. So they all join together somehow. Okay. So let's do another one of those little sort of lines. Let's have a look. It's going to put it feels a bit random, I'm sure. I'm going to put one there. Okay. So I'm going to bring in another sort of stem kind of thing. It's going to go off there. And I'm going to double that up. There we go. Then let's do another one going that way, a bit bigger. See, so I can extend that a little bit if I need to. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's zoom in and have a look at this. So I'm going to put a bubble around the top and fill the gaps. And then from the bottom here out, and create a bit of a loop on the top like that. Let's do the same on this one. Around, and then a little sort of bubble and a loop. Okay, so starting in the middle of this shape, then let's come in with a little loop itself and then fill either side with little loops. Okay, oh, a bit better than that, there you go. And then similar sort of thing here, so let's bring little loops that way and fill them in. Let's have a little look at that from a distance there. You see? So I'm going to pull out another one, sort of up here. And then another coming off, let's go over there. So they're not all going to go underneath these little loops there. We're just wanting to give it a little bit of an idea of some depth. So as well as having these going over and under things, we can bring those in and it looks like it is sliding underneath. Alright, so back in again, a little bubble and a loop. So the loop's not too small, but it's definitely got to have some sort of size so you can get those extra loops inside. Same with this one. So your choice, you can come in and do all of the loops first like this, or you can do a loop and you can fill it in with that little design as you go in as well. I think for now I'm going to come in and put in some more of these lines just so I can get an idea of where they're all going to go. So see how that one's going this way. I can do the same. I can take one this way. There we go. And then we can take one that way. You see how they just sort of branch off from each other. Oh, hello Leslie. Hello Joanne. Now if you were at class on Saturday, you'll sort of know what's coming tomorrow. So they had a bit of a sneak peek, and actually I'm quite impressed that you've not told anybody. Yeah, we'll get very quiet. But I do have a few bits and pieces I can show you, so don't tell anybody else though. And I tell you, we've got a little bit of important news as well that I want to share. We've been working to something, or for something, or towards something for a long time. And hopefully tomorrow we've finally got it sorted. You see how they're just sort of all growing off from each other? Let's bring one up here as well. And again, putting that bobble in and all the way around. Okay. And then let's put one here as well. Okay. And around. So let's put those loops in now. Remember, starting sort of in the middle, working your way down, and then along each side. So again, once you get into flow with loops, you find that they sort of work quite smoothly. So I'm going to do all the loops and then I'm going to come back and fill in. And of course, as you know, you don't have to fill in with black. You don't have to draw with black if you don't. You can do whatever you want, whichever way you want to do it. You could even do this on a larger tile or a tiny tile. It works in all ways. You could actually do a longer version. There you are. And of course, use the tiles, use these tangles to actually look at stencils and things that you've got, or even bits that you did in class that we did this weekend, and actually swap out or add this tangle to some of those pieces and see where it takes you. So don't think that when we do these tangles they're just there for the tiles. No, take them off and use them in all your other bits and pieces as well. Imagine putting some of these around the poison bottles. You know, sort of swirling around. Maybe different colours, or you could even add an extra shape coming off here so it wasn't just the loop. So it looks like these maybe are buds, and then bringing more petals off would open them out a little bit. And today we're keeping them with little buds. But they look cool. I like these. And it's always a bit dramatic, isn't it, having that extra bit of black in there. So, looking at those bits. Okay. So, I'm going to do a few up here as well. You see where we've got these little lines? I'm going to just, let's put one there. And maybe sort of one there as well. Just nice to bring them in and work them. So you've got something of a bit more interest. See, that's going to go underneath the border there. And they don't all have to go through those. So let's put one there. And see how it just wants to evolve and just sort of work its way across the page there. Let's put one in there. And a lock. Okay. And then here, so let's bring these up. And a lock. So I can get two in there, see? And in we go. And then up and out of here, see, I can extend that a little bit if I need to. And put another one in there. Okay. And one there. See, they just sort of start to roll off and create these lovely little shapes as you're working your way around there. So I might come put a few more in there, but I think for now, let's put those in and then we'll stop and have a look at it and see what we think. Okay. See those little loops again, just sort of doing their own thing. They're actually going quite quickly once you've got the flow of them. A little trickier when you've got something going underneath, like that one. We've done quite a few flowing ones, haven't we? Well, we did one on Tuesday that got those leaves. This one's different, but it's still got that slightly organic feel to it. And this one. Okay, and again, it's fill in those gaps. Work it round. So it sort of, again, gives it that little bit of drama. It's kind of nice, isn't it? I like doing a little bit of filling in as you go. Just changes that depth a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I know, Lynn. All right, yeah, quite like that. So let's have a look. If we maybe, you see, there's little gaps. I don't want to have too many large gaps. So have a look at your tile and just sort of see where you think you might be able to get a few more in if possible. So no rules, you don't have to if you don't want to, but it'd be nice to put a few in. If you see one there, bring that in. And let's put those loops in. Work it round again with a little black ink. Oh, don't forget that one there. Sneaking in, wasn't it? And round we go. Of course, because there's a little bit of colour underneath, that helps, I think, as well. It gives it a little bit more sense of a background. Let's put one in there. Again, loops and loops. There we go with that. Okay, so far I like it's, yeah, it's yeah, a bit different. So a little bit more. Oh, so Lynn, I'm sorry. You did really well though, don't knock it. You did really well. So nice to have a little bit of a challenge though, isn't it? All right, so let's have a look at this now. We've got some spaces here. So what I'd like to do is I want to put some little auras within those spaces. So I'm not going to try and create every little bump and every little notch. I'm just putting those little spaces in there. See, just little bits. In we go. And still sort of going around a little bridge as well. And here, I might as well do those as I'm going. And in we go. The same here. Now when you an aura in something, there's lots of things you can do with those spaces. You can fill them completely. You can shade them in different ways. You can add bubbles and lines in them. And it's a really good way of just adding a little bit of extra detail. Now, of course, yours is going to be completely different to mine, depending on where you've put all those little shapes. But each one is going to have its own little characteristics. And working my way around there and along. Okay, so sort of a systematic approach to this really. I'm taking each shape as it comes, one next to the other, and following it through. Even if it's just a little space, I'm still going to put something in there. See there, like little bits. Just sort of keeps in with the same shape there. It follows through, so along we go. See there? Not so much, but definitely one in there. And then into this one. I'm working my way along just as before. Now if you feel that when you're on the edge here, that was Lynn on Sunday. Oh, Lynn. You had a go though, you know, that's the whole point. I know grids are not for everybody, but we, you know, now and again we have to give them a go. Okay. See, that's quite a large one, but you could come in with a straight edge if you wanted to. There's no rules here, you can do that if you like. I kind of like the sort of freehand approach to doing this kind of thing. Following it through there, see, to this one. Oh, we're almost back to where we started. Let's put that one in. Okay, let's have a little look at that. Okay, so we've got the aura. So now I'd like you to pick a top and a bottom. So it could be any way you like. Whatever way works for you. You see, I quite like how I started and having it sort of there, because now this is my top, this is my bottom. So at any of the lines that are on the top, and again you could actually bring in your 05 pens for this. 1 second, being that I've got everything out on the desk. No, that's a 2. Have I got one now? I've got a 3 and a 2. Goodness me, I know. Get the box. If I can reach it, it's all over the floor, just as you would expect, to be honest. There we go, got a 5. So what I'm going to do then is all the top lines, so these top lines are my auras, I'm going to thicken up with a 5. If you haven't got one, don't worry, you can thicken it up with the pen you've got. You've just got to go across a couple more times maybe. See? So let's find all these auras that have got a bit at the top. So see here, look, this bit here, sort of merge it in, all on those top sections. And this one, go back in and neaten it up if you need to afterwards with a thinner pen. Let's get those in. Let's have a look at that then. See that bit there, look. You see how it's giving it a little bit more dimension. See, oh, that one's going to sort of be, that's all the top really. And then that one. Just by using that 5, just makes life a bit easier. Okay. And there. Okay. And same with this one. Okay. On there. I mean, of course, turn your tile so it's more comfortable for you. Don't try and do it this way and keep it all the same length, the same side. But there you go. See, it's got a little bit more. So, okay, being that I've done that one, let's do the top. See, I can't really do the top of the tile there, but let's do this one because I'll see that. So again, I'm going to thicken it up. Get good along it a couple of times. Oh, there, hang on. I've done that one. There. Have I missed one? Oh, there you go. One there, look. There we go. Okay, so we could leave it with just one. Oh, I've got to go up. Got one there. I can do that one. Oh, it'll come if I can't see it. I've done that one. I've done that. Ah, we go. There we go. Thank you, Lynn. There you go. So what you could do, you could leave it with just the top, or you could choose another side if you want to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to choose the left side. So everything on the left, again, I can come in and thicken up. And then if I spot any that I've missed, I'm sure I'll come back to it at some point. And put in on the left. You can do the right if you want to. Just that we've made a decision, so I'm going to stick to it now. And put all these on the left. Okay, so we're not really worried about where the light's coming from, where it's going to. We've just chosen a side. Okay, some of those little ones in there. A bit there. Okay. So, yeah, this bit I'm not, no, none of that, that's it. Okay. All right, so let's get one in the middle. Oh, can't find that one there. There we go. It's difficult when you're looking down a camera lens compared to actually looking over the top of the tile. So, yeah. Okay. I'm going to bring in a bit of shading now. It's got my pencil here. And wherever I've put these lines in these auras, that's where I'm going to put a bit of pencil. You see? I'm not going to overdo it, just a little bit. And we can get those blended in a short while. If they're really small, don't worry about them because you're not going to be able to get a torch on in. So just follow through and work on those bits that you've got there. Okay. So those few in the middle. And that one just a bit down there. Okay. Maybe a bit there. Because I suppose that's on the left as well. So let's put a little bit of that on the left. Okay. So bringing my torchon in. I'm going to add a little bit of softness. There we go. And work it out. Oh, there. We're talking about there, Joanne? Maybe we do. I could put one in. Or I could be a rebel and just leave it. And then it's going to bug you forever. But yeah, honestly, it depends. If you want to put one in. But I might look, I'll look at it and then sort of make my decision when I've put these little bits of shade in. There we go. Right, now see some of these little ones, I didn't really add much pencil in, but on any at all, because there's plenty on my tortillon there that's just going to give it that little bit of a shade that it needs. See, just a little bit. See, I could even go in there, or in there, or in there. So I think I'm going to leave that one, just because I can. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to bring in a bit of colour. I think it definitely needs a bit of colour now. So I happen to have my pencils handy. Again, you can use pens if you want to, gel pens, whatever you want to do. And being that I've got a bit of a pink vibe going on, and I'm not going to colour particularly, just going to add a touch. So just working it round in sort of swirls, just along the outer edge. You see how different that looks now? And again, if I go really quick, you see I'm not completely filling it exactly. Just for you, Joe, I'll add it in. Just for you. I was going to leave it, but just for you, I'll add it in. There you go. Okay, bit of pencil. There you go. Okay. Oh, see, now look, I've spotted that bit I didn't blend. There you go. So let's just get a little bit of a little bit of colour on these. So again, I'm just swirling it in, not particularly trying to colour it in, just adding a bit of colour. I can't blend it or anything, but because I've already got some colour in the background, it's going to work this way. Okay, same with this one. So that sort of works its way round. Not particularly being serious with getting a load of colour on. I just want to add some, so we've got a touch of it. There we go. So this is my lighter pink. This is the light rose colour that we've got there. So I'm going to bring in the, let's have a look. Shall I do mid-rose or shall I do claret? I'm going to go a little bit darker. I think I'm going to bring the claret in. The claret. And just sort of add a little bit to the bottoms. You know where we did that little curved line? This little bit there. You see? Okay. And there. Wander it round there. Just kind of adding a little bit of colour. Again, not particularly colouring in. It's more of a gesture of colour rather than an actual serious trying to colour it. But again, if you would prefer, you can do that. That's fine. But I don't want to colour completely. Okay, just sort of where those little lines are. Okay. So now I suppose a little bit of a decision is, are you going to use similar colours and colour these in as buds like we mentioned, or you can do them green so they're more leaf kind of thing. I'm going to come in with, let's have a look, my mid-orange, and I'm going to put a bit of orange in there. Again, just want to add a little bit to the bottom. So not particularly trying to colour it in, just sort of applying a little bit of colour there. So not really pressing on so much, but just giving it a touch of colour. So it's entirely what you want to do with it. Again, if you want to go in full colour and take some time to blend, that's fine. But this is about a little bit of a hint there. Okay. So I'm there with those. So I'm going to bring just a hint of green in. I'm going to use sort of the khaki kind of green. There we go. Because of course in the middles of our little cauliflower stalks, I want to add a touch of darkness, but I don't want to use black because of course we've already got black in there. So it just sort of like going in as a bit of a cross in the middles. And then of course coming to this little shape here, you see we need a little bit of shade, so I'll just put a little bit of the green underneath it. Let's find all of them just underneath, see, just sort of fade it out a bit. We don't want it too sort of in front, we just want it to sort of fade it a little bit. And then let's add a little bit and some of those little stems. And again, you see I'm not colouring all the way down. Sometimes it is just about that gesture rather than a full coloured piece. And you don't need to really look up completely close to this. It's going to be more of a, let's have a look from a bit of a distance there. Let's have a look at that. Well, you see how that just, those now look like they're going in a little bit, and this is sort of come forward a touch like that. But I think I will come in and add a little bit of yellow on the top of those. And just sort of brings a bit of light in, doesn't it? Look at the difference that's made. So we want certain things to stand out, and that's where we put in our colour. So now the decision is, do you want to make these more prominent than these, or do you want to bring these out a bit more? Just how it sort of works, isn't it? It's something that you think about as you go in and you can look at. Oh. So let's bring, we've done the sort of claret and pink, haven't we? I'm going to bring a bit of red in, so this light red, just going to add a touch in there. You see how we're not, say, colouring in, but it's building up the colours as we go. Look at the difference now with that. And all I'm doing with it is going round in little circles. I'm not trying to blend it at all. You see, it still looks quite rough, but it's sort of giving it a little bit of texture as it goes, because not everything is perfectly blended. Sometimes it just needs that little bit of, it's almost a bit rough, isn't it? It's starting to look a little bit like carnations now. It's crazy, isn't it? Okay, bit of white then. Okay, and I'm going to go round the edges of these. Now, of course, if you've got a regular tile that you've not inked or anything, you might not see the whites, but I advise that you just use it anyway. It's just going to help burnish around those edges a little bit. See? In we go. Alright, just sort of, again, I'm not particularly blending it, but it's sort of doing it on its own there, isn't it, a little bit? Then if you think that you want a little bit more 3D, you can go back in on these aurad shapes and you can go a bit darker with them if you want to. So let's have a look at that, see what it's looking like. There we go. Almost looks like these bits have been sort of cut out, doesn't it? A little bit different there. Yeah, I think a little bit of pencil around the edge now. Remember we chose the top and the left, didn't we? So I'm just going to bring in my pen again. I'm going to add a little bit just to the left there, just to make that a bit thicker. There we go. And then back in with my pencil. I'm going to go on the outside and add some there and there. I'm not going to do all around. Let's have a look at that first. Okay, let's get that in. So I mentioned a little bit of exciting news for tomorrow's shows, and this really is something that I've been looking at on So as Hobby Maker for quite a while, that we've been trying to get sorted. So it is going to be just my shows tomorrow. We're actually going to be open for service. Are you ready? For the USA. So if you're a USA Sanntangler, and you watch Hobby Maker, tomorrow you will be able to order any of the products that's on their website from my show. So any Sanntangle product tomorrow, you should be able to order from Hobby Maker if you're in the States. And what does this mean? Very exciting. It means that we're going to be the first ones. So, of course, we're going to give it a go and see if it works. It should do, by us all's right and holy. So that's exciting. So if there is anything, and this is for my lovely USA followers, if there is anything that you've had your eye on for a while, if you have a look on the Hobby Maker website and you don't see it, can you message me please, and I will ask them to add it to the website so you'll be able to add it to your order tomorrow. And it could be absolutely anything, and if I've got it and I can, I'll add it. But obviously adding every single product I've ever done could be a little bit of a job, but if there's anything specific, then please get in touch and let us know. So exciting times, isn't it? Goodness me, that's fantastic news. So we know that you've been missing out for a long time, and we do our best to get all our products to you. But this hopefully is going to be the new way forward. So okay, there's the tile for today. And you want to see what we're actually going to be bringing that's new? I've got a couple of bits and pieces here. Let's have a look. So I know that you all loved the Artistic Forms and Frames books. That's the ones that have got like the outlines in that you can draw around. And look what's coming. You've actually got book 3 coming, and what you might like in this, let's have a look. Some of them, I'll give you some instruction to do some of the tangly bits. There we go, you've got about 3 of that. Look at this, you might recognise this. But one I think that will definitely, if it's in here, get your attention, is that one is actually in the book. Ooh. And of course, not sort of withstanding, you think, is it another stencil? No, it's not. If you like the designs and you think sometimes I'd like to actually, you know, do it without the drawing, then maybe this is something that you'll like the look of. So, yeah, something coming there as well. Can't show you all of it because that'd just spoil it. It's not fair. So if you're up for it and you want to have a go at a bit of stamping as well, that should be good. So, okay, everybody, there's our tile. I will change the number. And sorry about that, but, you know, I'm getting carried away. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Give it a go. Try it and see where it ends up. It doesn't look like cauliflower so much now, does it? But, yeah, all done and sorted. So I won't be seeing you tomorrow for a tile, of course, because we've done it instead today. But please, if you're watching on Hobby Maker tomorrow, I'm on at 1, 4 and 7. And yeah, send your pictures in. Love to see all that kind of thing. And your messages as well. That's lovely. So, okay, everybody, have a good one. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.